What's in the cards this week ahead for you, the week of May 12th to May 18th? Welcome, welcome. I always tune in before we join, and the card that came out for the week ahead is Six of Wands. And the Six of Wands is about stepping into the limelight and receiving the praise and the recognition that is coming your way after working so incredibly hard. I want to invite you this week to ask yourself, where have you been denying yourself the compliments? Tune in and say, is it hard for me to accept praise or recognition? And I want to talk a little bit about a practice that back in my yoga days, we would always do, which is when we would give a present to one of our teachers, rather than place the present into our teacher's hands, you would take the present and you would place it at the teacher's feet. That way, it was their free will that was a part of the engagement, where they had the option to choose and receive the present or to walk away from it, rather than us forcing the present into their hands. It was very, very interesting because I think sometimes, there is such great joy in giving. And if you think about receiving compliments in that way, or recognition or praise, there is great joy when you share a compliment or you want to give someone recognition. And if that person were to deny it or say, oh no, that's not me, or oh, I'm not like that, it hurts the giver's heart. So I would just want to invite you, pause, look back, celebrate the successes. We have a full moon in Scorpio today, and full moons are about shining the light into the areas, the shadows that we may not have been willing to look at before. And Scorpio is the energy that gives us the strength to look at the shadow side, to see the hidden truths, to see the things that maybe we just don't always have the strength and the time and the courage to really take a clear look at. Today, we're going to dive into a little bit about that full moon in Scorpio. I'm going to share with you what I did with my Moon Club members, just a little taste of it. And if it's something that you want to know more about, I will share a link where you can find all that information. And hey, by the way, if we haven't met yet, my name is Irena Miller. I'm an energy alchemist and astrologer, so happy to share the moon with you today. And my joy is helping empathic, curious seekers like yourself utilize these sacred practices and tools like tracking the moon, meditation practices, breath work, yoga, cards, crystals, oh my, so many ways ultimately to help you trust your intuition to step into the life that you were born to live. And if these are the kinds of things that you love to learn more about, then please do like, subscribe, hit that notification bell, share this with a friend. It helps out so much. And I am so grateful for you spreading uplifting thoughts and helping get the word out about these practices. Let's jump in to the week ahead. And I have my notes to keep me on track a little bit because I tend to go off rail. But this week, I want to invite you to tune into that affirmation, I am worthy of success. Think about when you accept that compliment, even if it's just thank you. Think of the universe. I had a teacher once say, when you make a declaration, when you choose to do something, think of the universe out there clapping and going, yay, go for it. We've got your back. There's wonderful support for you. Celebrate the wins, celebrate the small things, even if you're like, oh, this was nothing. Maybe it's just simply, making the coffee without spilling the grinds or the grounds all over the place. It makes a difference. I know yesterday for me, I was in a rush. I was knocking everything over. So it's a good day when I don't spill things. So this week, it is an invitation to receive love, receive support, pay attention to the intuitive signs that are coming from the universe as recognition that you are being watched over. You have friends in high places, as I love to call our angels. You have the support because the message, the dream in your heart really needs to be shared with the world. It will make a difference. So let's talk a little bit about the overarching energy of the week. I love to start with the phases of the moon. Good morning, Julie. Great to have you. I love to start with the phases of the moon. And we just have the full moon today. So this bright culmination, this celebration, something coming to a head. You could even say an ending. It's really a day for celebration. And then as we go into the rest of the week, the moon wanes. So this is a great week for releasing, letting go, clearing out. The Scorpio energy can also, and if we have any Scorpios out there watching, please say hello, let me know, whether it's Scorpio, sun, moon, or rising. But the thing about Scorpio energy is it helps us burn everything to the ground. So like the phoenix, we can rise from the ashes. And if you think about the forest, in order to have that growth, in order to expand and to have more potential, the fires can really enable that. So when we have, natural forest fires and we have what looks like, oh, how will we ever bounce back from this decimation? Forest is alive and it's growing. And the Scorpio energy helps us with that. It gives us the courage to say, you know what, this really has to go. This is the end. I'm going to burn it to the ground, figuratively, not literally, so that I can rise from the ashes. I want to invite you, ask yourself, where have you been holding on? Where have you been maybe disguising busy work to keep yourself from looking at the shadow side of things, the parts of ourselves, the truths that maybe we just didn't want to know? This full moon in Scorpio gives you the courage to look at that. So this week, let go, release. If we look just at the big overarching energetic astrological movements, in addition to the full moon in Scorpio today, on Saturday, the sun and Uranus, they conjunct in the sky. It just means they give each other a big hug. So this is also a week of the unexpected. There might be breakdowns for breakthroughs. You might receive information that gives you a whole new perspective and line of action that you wish to take moving forward. And then on Sunday, Mercury and Mars, they square each other. It's kind of like they're coming around a corner, or you can think of them, at a stops, set of stop signs. How am I going to move? Who goes first? There's some kind of friction. And what I want to invite you to do is know that Mercury is our thoughts, our mind, our intellect, and Mars is like, I just got to go. I need to do this. There's a drive. There's an ambition. They're both in fixed energy signs. So what that means is you might feel like you want to dig your heels in about something. You've set your mind to something and you just, I got to do this. But there's some kind of friction, some kind of stuckness. Take a few deep breaths before you say anything on Sunday. Give yourself time and space to think things through. You don't have to give in to false urgency. Okay? That's an important thing this week. With that being said, I want to just briefly share as we look at Monday and this full moon. I'm going to see if I can share my screen again. I was practicing this before. So in order to share, let me share my screen, because rather than just trying to remember everything off the top of my head. Oh, well, now this is interesting. Hopefully this is the right one. I keep calling it. This is the full moon in Scorpio. Aha. Okay, so I am going to go into the presentation mode over here so you can see. And this is what I do with my Moon Club members. We have a full moon sacred ceremony, activation and gathering. But I just want to bring you through a couple of the little highlights of this, because rather than keep recreating everything, this full moon in Scorpio that's happening today, it's happening at 12:55 p.m. Eastern. So right around lunchtime. Scorpio energy is fixed water, which means when a Scorpio gets an idea about something, or when they want to, they're not going to move, right? You might even say stubborn, any of the fixed signs, the Leo, the Scorpios, and the Taurus energy. They'll move when they're ready to move. They're not going to move because somebody's yelling and shouting and jumping up and down. But this full moon, it taps into Scorpio's alchemical nature, the power of transmutation, of taking one thing from a particular state and transmuting it into something brand new. So there's opportunity for deep healing of old wounds. There's opportunity for you to acknowledge the things that have been like the pebble in the shoe, but you've been pushing forward. Now is the time to look at those pebbles, to look at the discomforts and say, I've got the strength, beautiful assistance of the Scorpio full moon to help me transmute, to release this pain. Because the idea with Scorpio is that it recognizes energy is always in existence. We can't create it, we can't destroy it. So how do we work with a bad feeling? How do we work with a heartache or a memory that keeps sabotaging and dragging us down, or a limiting belief? We transmute it. And there are sacred practices to do that. And that's what I teach my Moon Club members and my Mastering Intuition students. But for now, what I want to share with you, this little piece of it, is also to know that part of the way you transmute that is by paying attention to your intuitive hits, your inklings, those nudges, those hunches. Scorpio energy is highly, highly intuitive, or you could say psychic, and there is an opportunity for you to receive incredible downloads and messages with this Scorpio moon. Maybe it's that feeling of, I need to step away from this toxic relationship, or I need to reach out and heal this relationship. The Scorpio energy doesn't shy away from the shadow sides. It is here to help you and sit with you through the grief, the heaviness, to reveal the hidden patterns that keep sabotaging you. The other thing, because the sun is very close to Uranus, it won't be exact until Saturday, but that conjunction, sun and Uranus hugging up in the sky, all that means is that the sun, which represents who you are, your identity, your ego, your sense of individuality, that is working with Uranus. And Uranus is the planet of surprise, eureka. Sometimes it can be chaos or breakdowns for breakthroughs, but this week is Uranus is helping to shake things up, to enable you to see things in a brand new way, to help you get out of that feeling of being stuck. Because the great thing about fixed energy is they can stick through the long haul. They've got incredible tenacity and persistence, but sometimes it can also feel like this fixed energy gets stuck, especially if it's not uncomfortable enough. They're not going to want to change or move any of the fixed signs. And I say that with Scorpio rising myself, so I can definitely relate. But this energy is to help kind of nudge you forward. You might also feel, as we're getting closer to that Mercury energy, and Mercury's also talking with Pluto today in such a way that you're being invited to speak and voice your truth. Things are coming up from deep down inside you. It's kind of like that movie Practical Magic. I love it, where they're sitting around the table, they've been drinking the tequila, and all of a sudden they're just speaking whatever's on their mind. Just watch your words, watch your voice this week, but notice the truth as it comes up. The moon, this full moon in Scorpio, is really asking you, are you ready for the truth? Can you handle the truth, right? Like that old line from Jack Nicholson, was that movie, A Few Good Men. But this moon is saying you can handle it, because I'm here with you. Because when you actually kind of pull away the covers and you look at what's been hiding in the dark and you see the truth, it will set you free. It'll give you that opportunity to see what has been waking you up at 3 a.m. that you've been trying to ignore and just push through and white knuckle it. The Scorpio moon is here to help you release those things, burn them to the ground. That's the alchemical process where you can transmute the energy. I'm clicking in the wrong place. This is just an image of what the full moon actually looks like in the heavens above. I won't go over it, but this is the last thing that I really want to get into, which is every moon cycle has a family. They belong to someone. And this was very impactful when I was doing this with the Moon Club members. And I just want to walk you through it right now, because astrology isn't so much about being, well, at least the way that I practice it, it's not necessarily for divination or, future predicting, like what's going to happen. It's a forecast. It's giving us a general idea. Just like today, I know it's cloudy and there's chance of isolated rainstorms. I have that information, and yes, technology is getting better, where it might even say, okay, at noon, that's when the showers are coming, or we can see the radar. But it might change. How many of us get so frustrated at the weather people, like, oh, they never get it right. Everything's changing. It's so dynamic. It's the same thing with astrology and energy weather reports. We're getting a general idea of the feel. What's the energy? Okay, so I know it's going to rain. I didn't get to mow the lawn yesterday, so I'm going to take a quick break after the energy weather forecast with you, go out, mow the lawn, hopefully before it rains, come back in and do all my other work. So it gave me a heads up rather than wait till later today, which is what I was originally going to do. So it's saving me from heartache. I'm using that information and it's helping me. I can also look back in hindsight and know in the past when I've waited and how that's affected my outcomes. That's the idea of the moon family. So each moon, and I won't get into the specifics because I don't want to bore you of how we come up with moon families, but if you want to know, then reach out to me. But the first part of this moon family, because we're culminating at that full moon energy, the first one was a new moon in November 13th, 2023. So I want to invite you just to think back to that time period, because November 2023, something was going on where a seed was being planted, a new idea, some kind of insight, an awakening, a feeling, a truth that maybe you couldn't quite name yet, but you knew something needed to change. And I know for me, when I look back, I was coming to an understanding that a path that I was on with my business, something wasn't working. I couldn't quite put my finger on it yet, and I kept trying to make things work. So look back at your calendars. What was happening November 2023? Then the first quarter moon, that's the second part of this moon family, that happened August 12th, 2024. This is a time where you might have finally gotten a little bit more information. You'd been doing some research between November and August, and insights were coming, and you said, okay, I know a little bit more now, so I can make a decision. I can face this head on. I'm at a crossroads. I have to choose which direction I go in next. This was the invitation to take some kind of action, to move forward courageously. So look back, August 2024, what was going on roughly around that time? It doesn't have to be the exact date. As my teacher says, the universe doesn't turn on a dime. Then check out May 12th, 2025. This is today. Hello. As I'm saying that, right? What's happening right now for you? This is where we have how do I want to say, the lights are fully on. I like the way that it's written there, where we can see with more understanding and more knowledge what had been kind of scurrying around in the shadows, that we might have seen shadows moving, but we couldn't quite pinpoint. We're at a point now where the information and the truth is coming to the surface. This is the opportunity where you can really choose how you want to pivot, how you want to move. The next part of this cycle happens February 2026. This is a last quarter moon. And this is when you say, okay, I'm done. I'm stepping away from this fully. I'm completing the soul work lesson around whatever I've been going through, and I'm ready for the next part of my soul work. Just take a moment, look through these dates in your calendars and just kind of see what was going on. I love to share a particular quote with every full moon. This one from Rumi: your task is not to seek for love, but merely to seek and find all the barriers within yourself that you have built against it. The reason I love this is because the Scorpio energy is here to learn how to create healthy boundaries. But as we learn how to create healthy boundaries, sometimes we put up walls instead, and we block everything and everyone out, including the love and including the positivity and the good times. So learning how to create healthy energetic boundaries by also removing yourself from the toxic situations can be very impactful. Okay, we work with sacred geometric shapes. We talked about manifesting. We did a very sacred practice with the celestial wishing tree. And then in the moon club, we go over in these full moon practices, sacred gatherings, all the goodies. Let me see if I can do this. All the goodies of what you need to know, how this full moon affects you. So if this is something that you want to really dive into and be guided through the sacred practice and the meditation that I bring everybody through to find out really the nitty gritty of this particular full moon, then you can go to CKOut for like checkout.irenamiller.co/full-moon. It's a long URL, but if you want to go deeper, you can go there. Okay. So that's just a little bit about the full moon. I'm going to stop sharing my screen I'm doing this on the fly, so thank you for your patience with me. And we're going to dive into the rest of the week. Even though I want to say this Monday with the full moon in Scorpio, take some time to just sit or you can walk. Sometimes movement is easier to face these big feelings, to move the emotions up and out of the body, and start to pay attention to what needs to be released, what the universe is trying to shine the light on and say, this is ready for healing. Okay, and we're going to pull a card for Monday's energy. Let me go ahead and tuning in. How can you make the most of this full moon in Scorpio? We'll see who pops out. Rest. So this is about resting and protecting your heart. You can see she's got her little heart right here, and she's taking a moment to step away from the world to build stability. So as you do this deep healing soul work, you might need to cocoon yourself. And Scorpio energy is a very private energy. It's an energy that encourages you to step away from the chaos and to create the healthy, safe boundaries. You create a safe space to do this deep healing work. So that can help today. Tuesday, the moon is in Sagittarius. So Sagittarius moon is about freedom. And you might find that you just kind of need to get out and feel a freedom, have that opportunity to play. And when I say escape, it's kind of like, I just need to move. I need to go. Don't fence me in. This energy with the Scorpio moon might have felt heavy. It might have felt dense. And Sagittarius moon wants to feel real. And I keep going back to free. I always think of the black stallion running. Don't fence her in. There might be also a reignition of your purpose, that fueling of your why. And we're going to say, after you've done that deep Scorpio work, how can you make the most of this moon on Tuesday? Six of Swords, and she's upside down. Love it. So Six of Swords, where you go, there you are. She's moving from troubled water to calmer seas, which is great. Things are getting smoother. She's going somewhere where it's going to get easier. The tricky part, though, is that she's bringing the baggage, the thoughts with her. So with this full moon, and we're feeling it all week long, allow yourself the opportunity to do the deeper healing work of release. And one of the things you can do when you're trying to release these thoughts, these burdens that are coming up, because the thoughts affect your attitude, your bhava, as the yogis call it. And that flavors everything you do. It's kind of like SNL. There was that character that Rachel Dratch played, and it was like, I can't remember the character's name, but somebody would say, oh, it's a beautiful day for a wedding. And then she would go, oh, but storms are coming in. Wah, wah. She always like Debbie Downer kind of thing. Watch for the Debbie Downer energy. Give yourself that opportunity to do that was interesting how that card came up. Here she is. Look at that. That she came up for a reason too. What's waking you up at 3 a.m? These are the thoughts that we're bringing with us. So even though she arrives, so we have the 9 of Swords. Even though she arrives, she's still worrying. All those thoughts. So transmuting those thoughts, the dark thoughts, into the light, and it comes by bringing light into your life. And the Sagittarius moon is about hope, and it's about faith. So I'm going to encourage you, lean into your faith. Do practices that connect you to a higher power, God, source, the universe, where even if you just say that simple prayer, may God go before me and show me the way. May angels watch and protect me throughout the day. Lean into those sacred practices to help you with the heavy thoughts. Okay. And I'm compelled to say this to my great aunts who were nuns. They'd always be like, offer it up to Christ on the cross. And be like, okay. Or you can think of it, your angels. Angels, I need to get sleep and I keep worrying. I can't solve this problem right now. Can you hold on to it for me, please? And give it back to me at the appropriate time or the best time possible. You can always hand it over to your angels too. And the worry dolls. Have you guys heard or seen about worry dolls? Lots of different sacred practices, but that's just a few little tips. Okay, Wednesday. Wednesday, we still have that Sagittarian moon. Sagittarius energy is also about connecting with the way other people do things. You can consider that foreign to you. It's about expanding your knowledge and growing. So again, with the insights, with the truth and the revelation, you might find that there's something you're being called towards to learn more about. And I'm going to just ask, how can you make the most of that moon? Play the long game. There's no rush. Take your time, be cautious. He's outside walking barefoot. He's planting the pentacles, the seeds that are going to grow in the future. He's not looking for the quick win. He's really being strategic and thinking ahead. So with the Sagittarian moon, as you're getting the insights, as you're getting the downloads, don't feel like it all has to happen right now, especially if you get overwhelmed. Take your time, make the list, put it in a container, say, this is where I'm going. These are my goals. Maybe it's like 3-year plan, 5-year, 10-year. Okay, Thursday, the moon's still in Sagittarius. Later in the day, it'll move into Capricorn, but for the most of us, will wake up in Sagittarian energy. So how can you make the most of Thursday's full moon? Ooh, this guy's jumping out. Success, the Chariot card. Another card of movement, going somewhere. And I like that because with that full moon in Scorpio, which is a fixed sign, with the energy of Mars and Mercury, Mars and Mercury coming up on Sunday, where they're in fixed energy and where we could just feel stuck. Uranus is there helping us to break things down, to get out of that feeling of just stagnancy or stuckness, about finding success. And the Chariot card is victory. It is success. It is about being able to move forward. So Thursday, I think you're going to feel a lot lighter. If you're feeling heavier at the beginning of the week, and if it feels like a slog, Thursday, there's that light in the sky saying, okay, you're going places, baby. Get ready. Hang on. And the other thing I'm called to say about this card is it's a card of managing chaos. And Uranus can be very chaotic, but you've got these two horses with minds of their own. One wants to go left, one wants to go right, but the charioteer knows how to get them to work together. So even as information's coming in, even as things might seem chaotic, you'll be able to harness the energy to reach the goal. So have hope. Good morning, Chrissy. Great to have you. And yes, thank you so much, Julie. Debbie Downer. Holy cannoli. Couldn't believe I forgot that. Okay, Friday, the moon is in Capricorn. So Capricorn moon, it's all about business, baby. It's not personal. That's so hard for me because I have the opposite of a Capricorn moon. I have a Cancer moon. So for me, it's all personal. So I can really learn from the Capricorn moons where they're like, oh my God, there's no time for crying. Let's come up with a plan and fix it. Capricorns are wonderful in times of crisis and chaos. We can go to them and say, all right, help me come up with a plan. Where do I go? Capricorn moon, again, with all of this stuckness that we're trying to break up. And this is kind of like a gross analogy, but you can think of it like when you've got a cold or congestion in your chest and you're trying to break it up and get it out, you're coughing. It's good. You want to break it up and get it out. And the Capricorn moon comes up with the plan saying, okay, this chaos that you might have been feeling or the overwhelm, let's get a plan in place. Let's be practical, pragmatic, down to earth, and we're going to figure it out. And we're going to just pull a card and ask, what's most important that you need to know? The sun. I love how these cards of hope, success, contentment, pure joy are coming through. So again, here's the light. Whenever I hear George Harrison's song, Here Comes the Sun, that to me is just such a beautiful sign from spirit that I'm on the right track, that things are going to be okay. And I really feel like Friday's that day where you might get those insights that show you, it's going to be okay. Here comes the sun. Take this action. Here's a little hinge. Hinge. I want a hint, hunch, inkling. Holy cannoli. I giggle. And part of the reason I had someone kind of look at me kind of crazy, because when I talk and when I speak, I try to give a lot of different examples, and I read the energy as I say certain words, and certain words will resonate and I'll feel it. And if they don't quite hit the mark and I don't feel the resonating, I'll switch them a little bit. So part of the reason I say things, or I try to say things 10 different ways. But then sometimes I just want to combine them. Okay, Saturday. Saturday, the moon's still in Capricorn, still in business mode. Great for getting things done with your business. Maybe it's the admin side, maybe there's paperwork that you've put off, or long-term planning, because Capricorns are more the visionaries. They're not the day-to-day kind of admin stuff. That's more of a Virgo moon. But Capricorn, these are the visionaries. And if you think of the Knight of Pentacles who came up as guidance for earlier in the week, this is when you can start to say, okay, what's the long-term plan? What's the big vision here? What am I really trying to accomplish? And the Sagittarian moon earlier in the week helps you tune into the why. So Saturday, we get the sun conjuncting Uranus, really incredible breakthroughs. And we ask, what's most important that you need to know about Saturday's energy? And who pops out? Page of Pentacles. So here's that loyalty energy again. One of the cool things about the fixed zodiac signs, and the fixed zodiac signs, Leo, Scorpio, Aquarius, they are energies. I'm thinking I forgot to say one of them, but anyway, they are energies that show up, that have tenacity. Oh, and Julie, you say, great Friday and Saturday for the conference you're going to. Wonderful. Yes. So total business mindset. Think big picture, big plan. You can start to prep for it now, Julie. So that way, when you get into that mode on Friday and Saturday, you'll really be able to roll. So with Saturday's energy, the Page of Pentacles is about loyalty, and the fixed zodiac signs emphasize loyalty. They are incredibly loyal. I always feel like once you have created a friendship with that energy, and Taurus, I think Taurus was the one that I didn't mention before. So Taurus, Leo, Scorpio, and Aquarius energies are all fixed energy signs. They're the middle of the seasons. And they are there. They stick with you through thick and thin. But, you know, if you hurt a fixed energy sign, if you betray them, betray their loyalty, they take it very personally. So on Saturday, it's a reminder of, where are you placing your loyalty, and who's been loyal to you? What are the things that you want to learn more about, where you want to go deeper? Yeah, it's very, very interesting, that Page of Pentacles, because pages are also messengers. They bring information and news. So it could even be someone in your world who's bringing insight and information about something you need to learn more about, or, you know, learning more about where your loyalties are resting. Okay, Saturday. Or I said Saturday. Holy cannoli. Sunday. This is why I have my notes to keep you on track. Sunday, Aquarius moon. The Aquarius moon, this is when Mercury squares Mars. So this is where we want to be mindful of what we're speaking. Our words are going to carry extra power and strength on Sunday. Even watch the way that you're speaking to yourself. Watch the language you're using, the wording. You know, when people say, oh, there's such a pain in my neck, or a pain in my back, or a pain in my tushy, many times people end up with pains in those places, you know, or, oh, I feel sick to my stomach when I'm around them, or, you know, they give me agita. Love that word, agita. Do you know that one? It's like a New York Italian one, agita, heartburn. It's a Sunday. With the Aquarius moon is great for detaching. It's great for rising above the drama and the chaos, and for being a visionary, thinking outside the box, very innovative. So innovation or innovator might be a better word than visionary. They help you see things in a different light. So that Aquarian moon, how can you make the most of that energy? Three of Pentacles. Find your community. Somebody might come to you for expert advice. You might go to someone for expert advice, but start to call in your people, your community, the ones who get it. What if, you know, thinking about the Page of Pentacles who popped up on Saturday, and with the Sagittarian energy earlier in the week with the moon in Sagittarius, there might be something that your heart wanted to learn more about, and you say, okay, I want to learn more about AI in addressing meal planning, or I want to learn more about barefoot shoes, or I want to learn more about, how to be the CEO of my company because I've been more like an employee. Take that little hint, that little nudge, that little inkling, and go deeper with it. Find the group or the community that's talking about that stuff. This is really a cool time to step into that. And you might find, if you find that group, you have an opportunity to offer your advice and wisdom and be held up in the spotlight. Oh, it's a really cool week the way it's showing up. When we look at the whole week together, when we look back, I want to encourage you. Remember, you are worthy of success, of celebration, of recognition, of all that you have accomplished. Whatever starts to break down this week or shift out of your life, it's okay. It's for a reason. It's to enable you to do the deeper healing work, to finally grieve, to let go of the things that have been weighing you down so that you can step into the spotlight and to shine. Remembering that the universe is truly applauding you and cheering you on every step of the way. Thank you so much for tuning in. It is a joy to share these practices with you. If you'd like a sacred practice that really just supports you, my little gift to all of you, if you haven't picked it up yet, irenamiller.co/get calm. And there's a 2-minute audio there that teaches you how to create strong, healthy, energetic boundaries, protecting you. And in the meantime, remember, trust your heart, follow your vibes, or trust your vibes and follow your heart. It works both ways. And I will see you again here next week, 9:30 a.m. Eastern. Have an incredible full moon. I'll catch you on the flip side. Bye, guys.